All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Utility Players Podcast, episode 20. If you guys are and girls are watching us on YouTube, you see that the got a little change of scenery, change of production. We got two what is that? Two shots, three people. We're
Two
missing one
frames. I
person.
don't know.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, it's a little different. We're missing Ben at the moment. Gravy, do you have an update to Ben's whereabouts and such?
At first, I thought Ben was on PTO, but then I found out that he got suspended for 10 games by the MLB for using sticky stuff on his hands at work. So,
Hey, it happens to the
we
best
hope
of
to
us.
see him back. I think the 10 days from when it started, I think it does line up for him to return next week. But I'll have to double check with Elliot. I know he was getting the email from the lawyers and Ben's reps. So we'll see.
Yeah, we were going to have Elliot fill in for a little bit, but he's busy. He's got a lot of stats to look up, a lot of production after this. We just started a TikTok today, actually. It just launched. We'll promote that on the IG and the Twitter, which TikTok's taken over as another platform. We could, do some fun stuff. So he's been working. We're working it. He's only an intern. Elliot's not even getting paid, by the way. So he's
getting paid free 99. Somebody tell Fort that we can't hear him.
So this episode should be, more an efficient one. Obviously, we're down one member. We're going to carry them. We're going to carry our teammate like hopefully KD and James Harden does tonight. We're recording this on Tuesday night. So hopefully we get a good result there. I have a lot of anxiety personally as a fan. I wanted to channel my inner New Jersey Nets, as a little montage to playing well, playing as a team. That's what we need tonight for the Brooklyn Nets. So we'll try to carry this, us three.
Yeah. I was going to ask you because I understand like the significance of the series you guys are in now and losing the last game. Do you think he's coming back a little too early? Like, are you worried that he may re-aggravate that, kind of like AD with his groin?
Yeah, I feel like it's a hamstring injury. So you're always, I feel like even if you come back in a week or a month, you're always going to think that you're going to re-aggravate a groin or a hamstring. Those seems like the two injuries that are always lingering long after. I'm not a doctor, nor am I a scientist, so I can't, have any credibility to what I'm saying. But I think knowing the Brooklyn Nets and knowing Sean Marks, how they go about their player injuries, I'm going to say they did their due diligence with this one, and they feel he's probably 80, 85%. Or hopefully 90. And I think I'd take that James Harden if he plays well, plays smart, doesn't overcompensate. I think the Nets will. I feel confident. I felt confident right before they announced the injury of him coming back, but now even more so. I think we could bring it to a game 6 and hopefully close out.
I think Harden would be good. It's good for him to come back.
Can't hear you, bro. I think you guys are gonna have to share a mic. Because I think in your Zoom, we can restart this whole episode if you want. But I think on the Zoom settings, under mute, you probably just have it under one where it says select a microphone. You probably just have it under raised microphone.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah, share the mic. All good. We're still going.
All right.
Yeah, I think it will be good for the Nets. Harden come back just as a team perspective. It's tough losing a superstar like Kyrie. I do think that Giannis put his leg under him, but we're not going to get into that.
That's some bullshit, dude.
But Kyrie's a big loss just because he's your point guard, and point guard's one of the most important players on the team. But it'll be all right. Just like Ray said, Harden shouldn't do too much because I think KD's going to shoulder the load, and they'll be all right on that end. I got over 33.5
for sure
for KD.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the Bucks are coming in with a lot of obviously momentum. Nets play very well at home, so it's going to be a good. I've been nervous all day. For the last 36 hours. I've been talking myself off the ledge. But at the end of the day, I've put in my head that they're probably going to make it a game 7, and in a game 7, you never know at the end what's going to happen. So I'm prepared for it all. I just want to see a good competitive game, not like the last 2 games. The last 2 games have been Not competitive at all. Obviously, they blew the doors off game 3, and then obviously game 4 we took a lead in the first quarter, and then the injury happened. And then obviously the momentum went in their favor. So hopefully it's a competitive game. I think if it's a competitive game at home, we win. That's all I need to know. If it's a 5-point game either way, I think the Nets take it. But I think it's good for the NBA. We all win if the Nets are in the playoffs. I think that's kind of weird for me to say as a biased fan, but I think the world and NBA want to see what these 3 could do. So
Right. No, I think it works in your favor. You see home court coming into play here. That everything that's been going on, at least you guys are home for this game. You're not an away game, and like you said, it being a close game and you guys being home could help a lot. And this is an important game for you guys. I think momentum is definitely going to swing a certain way, big time, after this game tonight.
Yeah. So the other probably now, I mean, I didn't expect us to jump too much into Nets right away, but I love it because the other thing that was probably the other prediction that I had in the finals was the Suns and Nets. Both the show live, obviously, and the Suns swept the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, they're out. Jamal Murray out with the injury, but the MVP Joker wasn't couldn't do enough to hold over that Suns team that I felt like they were in control of every game. Did you guys feel that too? Did you feel like out of the 4 games, like the Nuggets, I didn't feel like the Nuggets really had control or they were going to win either of the 4?
Yeah, I definitely felt like game 1 was the closest one out of all those, and then the Suns just kind of took over in the fourth quarter game 1. But after that, it was a wrap for them boys. It was quiet.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, it's a game of runs. Obviously, the Suns are just hot right now. They're shooting well. Defense is playing well. Having Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, those guys helps that team a lot. CP carrying them. Deep Book getting hot. Like that's scary. And when you got a big guy like Ayton who can be effective without touching the ball 20, 25 times, a game, or having to slow the game down to get him going, I think helps a lot, especially in today's NBA. So he fits in perfectly with them. I'm interested. I want them to play the Jazz in the finals, in the Western Conference Finals. I think that would just be a better matchup, a more fun matchup. See Spida and Deep Book go at it. Shout out Miller Lite. But I don't know, man. I switching over to that other series, I'm interested to see who's gonna. Hey, that's the best sounding audio to come out of that microphone today. No offense.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah.
Special. I'm interested to see who's going to be playing the Suns, because I think the Clippers are a bad matchup for the Suns. But for entertainment wise, I'd rather see the Jazz play them.
Yeah, no, of course. It would only make sense for the hottest team to play, quote unquote, the best team in the West. Obviously, the Jazz were the best team in the West all season long, start to finish, basically, record wise. And then obviously the Suns are just playing phenomenal. They're the hottest team in the entire playoffs. That has to happen. I think the NBA would like that. Obviously, 2 small markets, 2 teams. The Jazz made it to back-to-back finals and couldn't win against the Bulls, and obviously I'm rocking the New Jersey Nets. We couldn't win in back-to-back. We both teams faced dynasties at the time. Obviously, they faced the Bulls twice. We faced the Lakers and the Spurs, which actually they showed it recently, I guess, with the Nets getting some buzz here lately. We're on NBA TV, like throwback 2002, which I loved.
I did see that
the other night.
Well, you're probably salivating.
Oh, yeah. I was watching something else, and I was like, all right, I'm going to record this because I want to relive it. I think it was like the game 3, and I look back at that series all the time, Spurs and Nets, and we lost 4-2, but we had a 10-point lead with 6 minutes to go in game 5 or game 6 to make it a game 7, and it would have been back in New Jersey at the time because I think we had a better record. I mean, you can't look back.
This is what this man put on the other day when I came to his house. He put on his Chromecast and he started watching like hardwood classics. I'm like, what are you doing right now?
Sounds like Ray.
Yeah, you gotta, you got so many TVs, you gotta utilize them
I'm
at
like,
the end of the
I'm
day.
like, just put on Game 6 Clay, dude.
Yeah, we did that too. We had outside, we had a pool party on Saturday. We were going through all, by the way, that was like a 5-year anniversary on Sunday.
Yeah.
It happened to be the 5-year anniversary of LeBron coming back, Game 7, I think it was. We were watching Game 7. The last 6-7 minutes of that game was probably the best finals sequence of all time. Just defense. I don't think anybody scored out of the first 6 minutes. Nobody scored for the first 3 or 4, but it was back and forth, back and forth. We
Right.
put that on, and then we got into some Miami Heat highlights, which were great with Dwayne Wade.
Cool.
So yeah, with the Suns, I mean, when Nate was on, I think, what was that, episode 9, 10 maybe?
Yeah.
Nate was on. We were talking big into NBA playoffs, and CP3. I think he said, I don't know, did he say that might have been his MVP at the time?
Yeah, I think him
Because
and I were saying
us
Chris
talking
Paul.
a lot of,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I remember us talking a lot of Chris.
He's a bandwagon Suns fan.
Yes, that's what it was. Okay, I'm trying to, without looking at any videos, I'm trying to think back, and I'm like,
Yeah.
we talked a lot about this a month and a half ago or so, and it turns out it's exactly what the smart NBA smart fans were seeing at the time. Like CP3 organizing that team, making them a force, and then in the playoffs you're seeing exactly that. And I love that.
Sure.
Chris Paul's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He said in
Yeah.
that interview,
After the
people
game.
wrote me off, and I love that.
Yeah. No, I was with Nate this weekend, and although I was incredibly drunk Saturday, I'm pretty sure he was riding high on that Suns bandwagon. So
Got to.
Hey,
Yeah,
some
we'll
fans
see.
travel well. This
Yeah,
Game 3, they were in there, and Game 4, after they were interviewing Chris Paul right after the game, they were all cheering.
Dude,
Hey,
they
the
were
funniest
lit.
thing-
And
I was going to say the funniest thing about that game was seeing Jokic's brothers in the stands.
bro,
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say too, dude. He's tatted up on the neck too. I just see the video, and the 2 security guards, and they're old as fuck, thinking they're gonna hold these 2 motherfuckers coming back, like going to the.
Bro.
It was just like he wanted that. If he was front row, he probably would have been in the scrum, and that would have been amazing, both of them.
The memes and
That's fucked
tweets,
up
somebody
how
was
they call it
like,
flagrant too.
Devin Booker's going to have 5 Serbian guys at his door next morning saying, "You are the Devin Booker."
Yo, Booker got right in his face too, though. Like off rip,
Yeah, he
he was
don't
right
care.
in there. He said, "Fuck it, yeah, we out here."
He's
Yeah,
a Kardashian now.
Jokic,
Kim K's
I
a
think-
lawyer. He's good.
They that was obviously pure frustration, pure he didn't want to hurt the guy. Obviously, he showed good sportsmanship coming off the floor, addressed pain at the time. But Terrence Ross, I think, tweeted, did you see that? He was like, yo, this motherfucker did that to me this season too.
Yeah.
And it was a time where it was like the similar play where he just like swatted at the ball. I thought that was hilarious when he did that.
I don't think they should have called the flagrant too.
Yeah,
Even
that was
though the Nuggets were probably gonna lose. I mean, he just won MVP. Like they're at home. Just let him finish out the season. Like that was NBA refs got to chill out. They got to have like a whole new training class for these NBA refs and like just I don't know.
yeah.
Refs are tripping.
I knew it was going to be a call to flagrant 2 only because it looked like he was trying to take somebody's head off.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't make contact with the a little contact, but he got ball as well. I just knew the NBA was put in a position where it's like, if we don't set that precedent now, we're going to be in trouble if it happens again and you don't give a flagrant 2. So it sucks because he's the MVP. It was the last game and they were down already at the time. But I think the NBA just was in a position where they had to just call that flagrant foul, which I wouldn't have. I don't agree with it, but I understand why they had to.
Agreed.
Yeah. So any NBA, any other NBA news that stuck out? I mean, NBA first teams, second teams came out, both offense
Oh, yeah, I
and
did see
defense.
that. Yep.
Yeah, there was some.
I don't know if
Kendrick
offense
Perkins.
and defense. I did see the defensive one.
Yeah. I saw
Yeah, was it
defense.
just defense?
Yeah, I don't know if they
Yeah.
have an
So
offensive
the
one.
Sixers had. Did they have 3 players on that list? Or
Yeah, so
2?
first team was Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons, Draymond Green, Giannis, and Drew Holiday. And then second team was Bam, Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, Tybalt, and Kawhi.
Second team is stacked.
So wait, there was, and I'm not saying this as a troll, so don't think I am as it
Okay.
for the Knicks. There's no Knicks on that.
Nah, I would have thought maybe Noel would have got second team.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that's the
Yeah.
only reason why I'm saying it, because they were number 2 or at least top 3 in the East the whole
Yeah,
season.
I'm interested
definitely.
to see
and then
if,
they were probably top 5.
I don't know if there'd be
That's
a
interesting.
third team. I don't know if there's a third.
Yeah, I
team.
got to look into that.
But,
I don't think so either. But
I wasn't surprised. I mean, it's not. These are all great defenders, so it is what it is. And maybe him
tremendous.
not starting until about 20, 30 games in had an effect on that. But hey, he was top 5 in most defensive categories.
Defense.
Yeah, Tony Allen.
Miami Heat got some love. That's good. I mean, Kendrick Perkins immediately put out about how does Bam not go? Wait, no, Jimmy Butler, because he led the lead in steals, not be on the first team. But I think who do you want out?
I'm not arguing with that first team.
Yeah.
No, that first team.
Not at all, right? It's pretty special, and it's crazy because it's such a positionless game nowadays that you know you have. I think in that lineup you have Giannis playing the 3 at the end, or Draymond playing the 3, and it's like that's kind of weird. Just because there's not point guard, shooting guard anymore. It's just 2 guards and 3 forwards.
Oh yeah,
so it is kind of awkward.
Playing the 5 a lot.
Yeah, but then you got Gobert. You know what I mean? Like if you want to literally put that team together and put it on the court, who's playing the 3 at that? It's got to be either Draymond or Giannis. It's kind of weird. I mean, nobody plays the 3. Obviously,
that makes sense.
It's just kind of weird how they
put Ben in as a guard. Yeah.
Yeah. They 100%. It's kind of weird when they put these first teams out there or all-stars where it's like, damn, he's playing, technically he's a 3 or a 2, but he never plays that position. That's kind of gone away.
How many points is that team scoring? The first team on defense.
How many offensive points is that team scoring? I don't know. That's a great debate right there.
It's going to be Drew Holiday picking all day. With everybody,
it's a late 90s, early 2000s. Like, you know, when I think we talked about this, like Detroit Pistons used to hold their opponents under 70, like the most in NBA history. Like it's gonna be something like that. It would be something like that, like 84-79.
They might get 80.
They might.
No one's shooting free throws.
There's not a lot of offense on that defensive team. That's crazy, and they're definitely not giving up more than 60 or 70 points anyway.
If I could just get a stream to work for this game.
Which game you trying to put on?
The Metropolitan.
Mets and Cubs, because
it's on ESPN.
You got blacked out.
Yeah, I live in
you got blacked out?
Yeah. 4.5
No,
hours.
I know, but they black out all Chicago? Like all Chicago sports?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And then I have like YouTube TV, so I have like all the regular channels, but I believe the Cubs moved to like their own network or something. I don't know, but it's not on regular TV either. We did get Chris Bryant out of the game nice and early tonight, though. So
nice. So while we're on the topic, obviously, baseball, they announced that today. They announced kind of the rules and regulations. Last week, they talked about how they will crack down on sticky substances, meaning sunblock, pine tar. What is it? What's that substance? Spider tack, right?
Yeah.
They're going to crack down on it. Obviously, you had spin rate, as they able to track it, able to go up every single season. Pitchers are dominating. We have like 8 or 9 no-hitters, close to perfect games. Offense is down. The Yankees suck for more reasons than just their offense, but they fucking suck right now. So this only helps us. The fact that Major League Baseball had a steroid problem in the 90s and the early 2000s, in my opinion, they cracked down on it pretty late, but they eventually got it together. And I feel like this is the same thing, but in a pitcher's way. So steroids are more for hitters to recover. Obviously, pitchers were using it, but now pitchers are almost using a steroid where they use sticky stuff, obviously, to grip the ball, and you're able to do more stuff to the baseball, which makes the offense, and people love offense, as seen in the NBA, as seen in the NFL. what is as our baseball, professional expert,
Baseball connoisseur.
what's your kind of overall view of it, whether it's the history of pitching and now it's, gone down as far as offense? What is your kind of like spin on the game as a whole as well?
I think baseball's doing too much. I do like to follow like the rules. Like I understand the rules and the unwritten rules and stuff like that. Like I like baseball to do that kind of stuff. I don't think this is a good idea. It's been going on for years. People have been doing, whether it's rosin, like mixing rosin and pine tar, or just making their own concoction of things in order to help them. Baseball's done stuff with the balls now. They do it every year. Now they're like the pine tar rule has been in effect for years now. Hey, if a player has pine tar where you noticeably see it on his body or uniform or hat, cool, kick him out. But if there's none of that, like this, you can't wear sunscreen in stadiums that have covers. You can't wear sunscreen at night games. There's like a whole bunch of little bullshit
Which
rules.
makes sense overall, right?
And
but that kind of
honestly,
does make sense though, Gravy, if you want to break it down.
But yes, but to my like, that's just like the little things. But like to like my major point would be, this is all gonna go away because it's gonna take one time where it's a little wet out or it's humid and a pitcher doesn't have control of the ball and he hits somebody in somewhere where he probably shouldn't hit them.
That's the other negative, yeah.
And people are gonna start getting hurt. Batters are gonna start being hit more now, and the pitchers are gonna go back and say, "Hey, too bad you guys stopped us from using this stuff, and now we don't have control over the pitches." So
I feel like they should just bring steroids back to kind of even it out.
Bro, steroids saved baseball.
It really did, because it was dying in the 90s and it's dying now again. So
it's good that you broke that down though, because that's what I was gonna say. Like, explain to like people that don't know too much about baseball how these substances would affect, players in their performance and whatnot. So I mean, you just did that beautifully.
Yeah. I mean, and it is. Guys aren't gonna get paid because their numbers are going to go down, and all these analytic nerds are going to look at their spin rates or how much RPMs they're generating on a fastball. Okay. It doesn't matter. You got guys, look at Lance Lynn, the guy throws high 94, and he's had success the past few years, and he's a durable guy. So
the good thing for you, at least, I don't know if it means anything, but at least Jacob deGrom's teammates came out without having to and saying that he doesn't use any of that. They've never seen it, and he's legit. So
imagine
if he did, though.
No, but here's the thing.
If he did,
here's the thing, and it may sound biased, may not. He's like, I would be concerned. Like, sorry, Ray, Garrett Cole, I would be concerned.
I am concerned.
Trevor Bauer, I would be concerned. Jake throws fastballs. Like, he is predominantly a fastball pitcher. He's always had a good curveball. He's always had a good slider. But he throws fast. Like, this stuff that they're banning from the league and checking guys for has no effect on fastballs. So, in that sense, cool.
You're right.
Like, doesn't, and I believe him. I don't think that he would do it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of guys that we didn't think would do it, and we're going to find out have done it. But it's a part of baseball. So.
Yeah, and that's where I kind of text my boy AP, because we usually talk baseball every single day during the season. And I was learning kind of the rules and regulations that they were going to implement this week or going into next week.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, baseball has, and I said on this podcast multiple times, probably over the last 10 episodes, that baseball is always behind. They're always trying to play catch up. There's so many rules and regulations that go into baseball, and there's no way to almost monitor all of them, per year.
Right.
And this is finally one that I've actually seen that they seen a problem, or at least it was talked about in the media, and they wanted to clean up immediately. They didn't say, let's wait till next year. So I do give them that much credit for seeing an issue, knowing that viewership is down, that they need some offense going on, and being like, we're not going to wait to the end of the year. We're going to do this now, and we're going to make it broad. And that's what one of the reporters said. What is it, Jeff Passan? Is that a home run again?
Yeah. It's just
Oh, no. We caught it.
Don't let him fool you. He got both his TVs playing baseball
Yeah.
right now. So watching that shit.
I think it's Jeff Passan. He was breaking down. He's like, if they would have left it non or too detailed, umpires to be like, is that sunblock? Is that tar? Is that so? At the end of the day, if they see any substance on your arm or on your uniform, they're gonna just take you out of the game, and then you're gonna be suspended. I like being proactive. If it's gonna clean up the game to make a quote unquote level playing field and produce more offense, I'm for it. I mean,
well,
I'm trying not
here's
to
the
be
thing.
too much of a purist and a traditionalist, but
The thing with that is they've stopped offenses from being explosive and scoring runs by deadening the baseball, which is why you're seeing all these no hitters. Trying to think of the word, no hitters. So it's, I don't know, it's just contradicting what they're trying to do to the game. So we'll see.
Yeah, it is kind of a weird dynamic of that.
When you don't have guys who can't control the baseball and they're walking guys, that slows the game down. That makes baseball games lower. People don't go to baseball games to see guys walked. So we'll see.
Like I said
I'm
previously,
interested to see and who gets caught. I think an interesting rule about it is if a player does get suspended for 10 games, you're not allowed to replace him on the roster. So your team's fucked for those.
So it's not like a DL spot or an IL spot.
Nope.
But I heard it is paid. So they're not making the consequence too severe. They're making it at least you're not playing for 10 days, but you'll get paid. So at least the players are like, I think eventually they'll upgrade that in a year or two to be like, all right, now we're trying to cut it out. We're not going to pay you. Any other thoughts on that, Fort?
No, that's kind of messed up how they're still going to pay him, but I guess that's cool. It doesn't make too much sense to get suspended from work, but you still get paid. It's kind of like when cops.
That's the life.
PTO.
Yeah, it's like when cops fuck up and they get they're put on a desk job for 6 months and get paid. It's like it's a formality.
Still hang out.
Without getting too political, soccer, the Euros were supposed to be last year, 2020. It's still Euros 2020, which I appreciate, but also hate because every time I see the numbers 2020, it's always a hard time to see those numbers because it's a hard year for most people out there. Euros started, the group stages, each I think team has just played one game. I think everybody has played one game, I think, at this point. But did you guys see Eriksen go down? I watched I didn't
the video
see it
yesterday.
live. Yeah, I seen it yesterday as well while I was taking a shit because that's where the most production gets done around here. Watch that video, and that's very scary, man, to see a guy go down face first and teammates, opponents are just, they know it immediately. It didn't take too long to figure it out. Like he wasn't faking a dive. The ball got passed to him and boom, he went down. And they literally revived that dude on the field.
Yeah, shout out to the medics.
Yeah.
Facts. They got out there quick.
Dude, it was that's a scenario where if people don't react right, if things aren't done properly, that person dies on the field. And
could you imagine?
I've seen it before. Well, firsthand, we played in high school. We played a team in Brooklyn. They came to us on like a Saturday morning. Died on the court. Literally got cardiac arrest. Died on the court, and then from then on, I think by law, I think they implemented every New York City sport, like either gymnasium or field or whatever, had to have a
medical staff and stuff
for it, but basically to revive people.
Resuscitator.
And that had to be implemented citywide. Dude died on it's crazy, 12 years old, 13 years old. So that was scary. I mean, at the end of the day, he obviously is not gonna play the rest of the tournament. His country and his team will pick it up, but that was a scary kind of surreal moment for when sports in real life come together really fast.
Damn, how are the Mets down 2-0?
Javi Baez hit a homer. Oppo.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, you didn't see.
Nah,
No.
he's blacked out.
Oh, no. I mean, I thought he got a stream
I
up
wish I
already.
was blacked out.
'Cause that's why I was like, I wasn't gonna celebrate it or show off or not whatever. I wasn't gonna say it until you realized it. Ronaldo became the top leading scorer of the Euros. That's my guy. Will always be my guy. Real
boy
Madrid
Pinaldo.
forever. So
Ronaldo.
Euros about to heat up.
Scored his 105th goal. No, 105th international goal, but also the 10th goal to tie in typical Pinaldo fashion by sinking a penalty that he had nothing to do with. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good stat. I mean, if you were to take, it's one of those stats like if you were to take away every penalty kick from Messi or Ronaldo, how many actual goals they would have, that's probably more important to me. But that's a stat in soccer where if you're that good of a scorer, you're a captain and you're
taking the penalty.
the most dominant, you're just gonna get more goals. That's team wide. It's equal playing field, meaning every team has a player that shoots more penalties than the other players on the. So it's kind of like almost makes that even at the end of the day. But Ronaldo and Messi, they're hopefully Ronaldo retires from Juventus or from European soccer, comes to MLS and lifts MLS up because I think it's gaining momentum and he'll just push that forward. Somebody give him a bag, hopefully Inter Miami or LA Galaxy, somebody in the main New York FC.
He scored those two games late. He scored those 2 goals late.
Last 10 minutes, yeah.
And I watched the whole game because I bet on Portugal money line. I parlayed Portugal money line and under 3.5 goals.
Ooh.
So I was feeling good.
So
I was like, hey, like definitely under 3.5. Score this goal, we're good.
Then they scored 3 for a second
ASAP, and I'm like, oh shit, now I'm gonna get the over. Like I didn't know what was going on, but man, those first 80 minutes, he didn't do shit. Like he just looked. I almost tweeted. I was like, hey, next stop for Ronaldo's the MLS. Because he just looked so disinterested. What?
We need more European. I'll take Ronaldo out in the MLS. We need more European players out here.
Yeah.
Speaking of the MLS, and since we just spoke about baseball, Uncle Steve Cohen, owner of the Mets, bought Orlando FC this past weekend.
Oh, did he? I didn't even.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that pop up.
It has to get approved by the owners, of course, but he did buy Orlando FC.
How much percentage?
I don't know.
Dude, that's a smart buy.
Yeah,
that's a smart buy because
we've been talking about that. Like,
I mean, good.
I was just saying we were just talking about that. Like, what would we buy? Like, what franchise or what sport we would buy in? And he's done baseball and soccer in the past year.
What you want to? I mean, as an investor, you want to get into investing 101 is buy something that doesn't cost much now that in 5, 10, 15, I mean, obviously if you're paying that much money, but in down the road is going to pay you tremendous amount. And the best buy low situations are bad teams that are, like we said, Timberwolves, Oklahoma City, teams that, don't have that much revenue coming in that aren't in a major city, or MLS team. Kevin Durant has Philadelphia Union. Do you have any news on that? On this? Philadelphia Union, you're seeing more, known owners buy MLS teams, which is telling you it's kind of like the stock market. Whenever you see something trending up or a little talk, you better get in it too. So, yeah, I expect a lot of new ownership in MLS.
I mean, we just talked about it last week. You said it, Gravy. Mark Ingram bought, what was it, 1%?
Yeah.
Of DC United. So, yeah, I mean, whatever kind of like move that you can make, it doesn't matter how big or small it is, that in a few years it's just going to be expedited. I mean, like he said, buy low, sell high. I mean, it's pretty much all you got to do.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see how much he bought right now.
Yeah, we're looking kind of see how much he bought it for. I would assume with his amount of money and not being that much, he probably bought the whole thing. I would assume so. Just because he's a billionaire.
No, I'm sure it was a part of the. I'm sure he had a little investment group going with it.
Yep.
Just because he's so involved in the Mets, I feel like with that being in Orlando, I don't know how much he can commit himself to it.
You're right. That's a pure investment. That's not something he's going to monitor, have too much say in. He'll put his money in it and trust a bunch of people to manage it for him, which obviously this guy, we don't have to tell him how to manage his investments because I'm sure he knows what he's doing. But Orlando City, that's young franchise and kind of up and coming in the city of Orlando. They've proven that they could raise a team like the Orlando Magic that's been around for now 30 years. So that's MLS is I personally think that America could be doing a better job of making these franchises more appealing and all that. And I think they're starting to see that with all the little changes. David Beckham obviously owning Inter Miami. They're going to go to Miami, hopefully in a couple of years. And probably one of the last sports topics that we have to talk about for it. If you find anything else out on that, let us know. UFC. What was the number this week? UFC
263. 263.
263. Nate Diaz, fan of the pod.
Gangster.
Go to the pod. Matt, man, if he's not getting bloody, he didn't really fight because that boy and actually Fort was live in the lab. Me, Robbie, Vito, and Fort, and we were watching it, and man, I think it took the second round maybe for him to bust open, but the whole time I'm like, this dude, like he busted open on the side of his head at first. Like that's not even a spot that's usually a thing. Like just an old wound just opened up, and
it's all that scar tissue those Diaz brothers have.
Dog, I was just gonna say, once you have all that scar tissue, that's why it's negative to get beat up a lot in fights because your body can only heal so much. But did you get to watch it live, or did you watch kind of like the?
No, we watched it. Mandy and I watched it with Ben and Emily and his brother Tanner and sister-in-law Olivia. So we all watched it together.
I think shout out Tanner. I think I see him retweeting a bunch of stuff on Twitter. We appreciate
for sure.
that.
He always shows love. Put mad money on Nate. Had to. It was plus 385.
I like the little pause. You always know people fucked up where it's like,
should have. I mean, like I said, very drunk on Saturday. Probably would have been smart to bet on fight going the distance. Not in my thought process at that state. But I actually bet on him, and then I doubled down in like the second round. And I was like, we're fucking going for it. Let's go.
Shit.
Great fight.
Yeah, that's how you know. Yeah, being drunk and betting.
I enjoyed it.
Not good.
That last minute was everything. Like during the fight, either Mandy or Emily or somebody was like, "Hey, like he's fucking bleeding," and like, I'm like, "Nah, he's good. Like he loves this shit. Like, he's ready."
Yeah, this is what he does.
Yeah,
he just warmed up. It's like a boxer coming out sweaty to a fight. Like, all right, they're ready. It's like until he bleeds, that's when the match.
Then he goes. Yeah, now we go. But
what did you have? What kind of bets did you have for it going out?
I just had on that card. I had the UFC. I had that fight going the distance, and then as soon as that hit, I just doubled up on Adesanya.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Stop better. He wasn't gonna lose.
No, he was clinical.
Did you hear it? Did you get any update from that Steve Cohen thing?
As far as like percentage.
Oh, all I'm seeing here is that he actually isn't buying in.
Oh, he isn't? Yikes.
Yeah.
I
don't know how true it is, but that's what I'm seeing.
Well, Cesar Luis Merlo fucking lied.
Oh yeah, she that's who actually quoted his tweet.
Oh, for real?
Julia Post quoted that tweet. Yeah, she's like, just woke up and got to this. I've checked with the club. Says there's no weight to this. Cohen is not buying into Orlando City.
Or it might just come out like in a couple days or next week that they wanted to kill the situation. So maybe people didn't bid. Or, you never know what goes on. But he probably could still own it. They just didn't. Yeah, I mean,
maybe he's just not like a majority owner, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, I saw that check mark. I was like, oh snap, it's legit. But I did think it was weird that like nothing was being said. So I was like, maybe they're just keeping it quiet. I'm watching hockey right now.
And maybe Ford could speak on it back to UFC to close it out. But I thought that I think the most reaction we got out of the whole night, other than Nate Diaz bleeding, was the Mexican fighter.
Oh yeah, he won
Brandon Moreno
title.
How about that? Yeah.
he took it away. That was a pretty good fight. I mean, that was quick. I thought that fight would go to the distance too. I didn't expect it to end how it did, and I'm just glad that he was cut. I think he was cut from Ultimate Fighter.
He was the lowest ranked
picked or something
fighter.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
and it just goes to show, like just determination, bro.
For real.
that's really
nice.
all it is in that sport. Like just determination and just grinding away. Like that's the only way you get better. And for him to win that title and win that belt, that was awesome for him to support his family and his kids.
First Mexican champ.
Yep.
I saw a tweet that he, like an old, like I think maybe 6 or 8 years ago, that he was holding the belt. And like, when everybody thinks they're going to be a professional something, it's always
Right.
cool to look back and when you're a kid or before you became, like, obviously how many people think they're going to do one thing, but it doesn't turn out. But at least when you find those few and it's like he had the belt on him, and I think he was at a signing, he was like future champ right here. It was only like 6 or 8 years ago. And it's cool to like somebody retweeted it to actually like continue to go through that grind of being, I didn't even know that fact about being last ranked Ultimate Fighter, not being, I didn't know the Mexican stat either about being the first. So like all that going into it, I didn't know going into the fight. And then after it won, I just seen so much like raw emotion from him. And then I learned most of that stuff right then and there. And I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, he was lowest ranked fighter going into the Ultimate Fighter, and then he signed with the UFC. I think he lost his first 2 fights, and they cut him. Then he just made his way back.
Just had to fucking grind you that, dog. That's amazing. More shit got to be talked.
The first time these guys fought, it was a crazy fight.
Yeah,
so that's why they ran. That's why they ran it back.
They need to run another one because he wants his belt back. I know that for
sure. Before we get into any like we said earlier, obviously we're missing Ben, and we'll pour it a little for the time being. Won't waste any beer. We're gonna keep it short and simple and kind of efficient on this podcast, and not probably be over an hour. Just kind of get out for the week what sports news. But before we get into any trending topics, any shout out stuff like that, we'll go into Bet the Fort. Hopefully Fort has some picks, and he does. Ooh, he's prepared today. I like being with Fort in the lab. Like being able to be next to him. I could kind of like pick your shit up, get your shit together type shit. Elliot could fuck with him, but my man's got some picks. Bet the Fort. Last week, when 3 and 2 had 5 picks, 2 of them were like obvious. Like what were they? Plus 3,000.
I didn't even look at the odds.
Bet $1, win a penny, basically. So he's got 5 picks right now, and hit us with a little Bet the Fort.
All right, so we're gonna keep it on some soccer stuff. Euro Championship right now. We missed it last year, but we got some this year. I'm taking Italy over Switzerland.
Shout out Mo and the Italians. TT,
Yes,
what up?
Yes, sir.
I'm taking England over Scotland. Italy played good last game. They just ran that whole field. And then NBA playoffs. I'm taking Sixers over Hawks. Sixers back in Philly. I think they get that pivotal game 5. They need it. I think that series goes 7.
Oh,
I hope it does, because both those teams match up pretty well, and I like Trae Young doing his thing. And then Clippers Jazz. I am going to take the Clippers over the Jazz just because Donovan Mitchell's still hobbled. Who knows what could happen when it's going to be a fun series. I think that series also goes 7. And then
that'd be crazy if Clippers can pull off that win. That would be nuts.
Down 2-0. I feel like what was that stat that we saw? Ty Lue wins 60% of his series when he's down 2-0. Which is nuts.
That is
with
LeBron for that too.
Yeah, LeBron for that. You're right. It's like you might as well be a LeBron staffer at that point, right?
And then fight night, UFC fight night this weekend. I'm taking Dan Ige over Korean Zombie. I'm not too sure about either much of them, but my brother was talking to me about them earlier, so that's his pick.
That's when we say Bet the Fort, I guess David Fort could intervene in some of these picks, which
Fort David, bro. Say it correctly.
Yeah, Fort David. Sorry. By the way, my man's. I was gonna say his physique is looking kind of good, but I didn't want to pause a bunch of shit. But my man's in the fucking lab.
Boy, been grinding.
Yeah, grinding.
Bro, the other day he got Chipotle. We got Chipotle. This was last night. 'Cause my mom was like, "Oh, I don't feel like cooking." I was like, "All right, whatever. We'll just get some food." So he not only did he have his Chipotle bowl, he also made like 4 other eggs.
I was just gonna say I didn't even know it was eggs. I was like, he definitely made eggs,
He
didn't he?
made like 4 other eggs.
Wait, what? He had
In-
Chipotle
in
and
the
eggs?
bowl?
Chipotle bowl.
Oh, my man's fucking Rocky 4 right now fighting.
I
It
respect
was a
it.
play like this big, bro. Like
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
bro, you really trying to gain them pounds? I see you, dog.
That's nuts. I weighed myself today. I was 197. I'm like, I'm going to Puerto Rico next month. I'm like, I gotta get down to my fighting weight, which is like 185. I feel like it's if I have a good amount of fat and like muscle on me, 185 is the move.
Take some
I
hard drops
gotta-
to cut.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't eat till like 1 p.m. today, so that's to start a little fasting. But anyway, enough about my personal pounds. Bet the fort. So that's 5 picks. He's still above 500, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys are giving him shit in the group chats, but he still went. He's still green. What's up, Grave?
I have taken my talents to FanDuel. I've left DraftKings.
Oh, and what was the reason behind that?
I watch Pat McAfee show every day, and they bet on FanDuel.
Yeah, there you go.
So-
That's marketing. That's
marketing.
there you go. That works.
Yeah,
People that
But
people that say that don't
they
work.
got a lot
it
of
does.
good boosts.
It's all about how often you see something. The more you see something, the more inclined you're gonna click on it. The more inclined you're gonna be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
let me see what the fuck this is."
They just like their app's so much easier to use. Like they have good. I like the first 5 betting. Like for baseball games, I do a lot of that now. And
as soon as it's available in Florida, I'm switching over.
yeah, their boosts. They have really good boosts. They have like NBA boosts every day for these playoff games. 2 plus 3s to be made in the first 3 minutes of the game. Like, yes, that's free money.
Oh shit! Yeah, they pay out in crypto.
They should.
I do have a little. I do have breaking news. This just broke about. Obviously, like I said, we're recording this podcast on Tuesday night. It will drop on Wednesday. But 2020, 2021 NBA all first team, second team, and third team. So they have 3 teams for offense. So they I don't think they have. Ready? Here we go. So we got Giannis on the first team. Giannis, Jokic, Curry, Doncic, and Leonard. Solid. Second team, we got Lillard, Embiid, Paul, Randall. There you go. LeBron James. Which this is crazy. It's funny because I know the Nets didn't play, their key players didn't play enough games to probably qualify or get enough votes. But the fact that I'm reading out the third team just to get to a Brooklyn Net, in my opinion, is just crazy. Whether they played 5 games or 50 games.
Well,
but the third team
that's
is
the thing.
Gobert. I know. It's I can
I
have
have
a
an
little
issue
gripe.
with this. I have an issue with this too. Go ahead.
Let me get the third team out, and then you go.
Yeah.
Third team is Gobert, Butler, George, Beal, and Kyrie Irving. So at least we got a net up there. Our first one since probably Jason Kidd. So
I will
Brook
say,
Lopez might have
or
made
Paul
up
Pierce, KG. No, Joe Johnson. I don't know. My
No,
issue
they
with
didn't make-
this
they didn't make it.
is why is Rudy Gobert the defensive player of the year and first team all defense, but then he makes NBA third team?
What
That
do
doesn't
you mean?
make
What
sense to me.
context do you mean that in though?
It just doesn't add up.
I could take that a few ways. So what do you mean?
You can't tell me he's the best defender in the league and he's first team all defense, but then he's NBA third team.
So you're saying he shouldn't even be on the NBA third team?
He should be higher.
You're saying,
than
or
third
he
team.
should be on the
If you're
higher.
gonna give,
okay,
yeah,
that's
if you're gonna
why-
give him those
that's what I meant by
accolades, then he
context.
needs to be higher.
Yeah, but I think
Because
you're right. You're right about that. But I
Like,
don't.
Giannis and Kawhi are defensive players, and they're on the first team.
Okay, so when you're thinking NBA first, second, and third team, I think offense it's like 90% offense, 10% defense. I think defense is thrown in there, but not as much. So defense is obviously no offense. And then first team is kind of a mix, but it's not fairly judged, I think.
Wasn't Marc
Mhm.
Gasol that won Defensive Player of the Year and he was second team all defense? Wasn't Bron
I don't
talking
doubt
about
that. I don't doubt that.
When-
Marc Gasol, he won the defensive MVP.
Yeah, he
Is
won
that what it's
Defensive
called?
Player of the Year, but I don't think he was
Defensive Player of the
first team all defense or
Yeah, it
something
just-
like that.
it
Because
just-
Bron was talking about it and saying
It doesn't make sense.
NBA awards ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to give these players awards when they don't qualify. Most of them don't qualify to even get that, because for people that don't know, to qualify for a scoring title, most of these either stats or these rewards, you need to play 70% of the season. So I did this because I'm a nerd about my team qualifying for certain awards. So obviously in an 82 game season, you need to play 70 games. In a 72 season, you need to play 54.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these guys, Harden, KD, they didn't qualify just from that. So they can't even be on these first teams. What I believe, and I think this is true, because they don't qualify for a scoring title if you don't meet these standards. And I'd assume you don't qualify if you're hurt. So I think most of these guys right away, you don't qualify because you didn't play in enough games. Kyrie just got over that. That's why he made the third team. I think if he plays in 5 more games, I think he's on the second team, to be honest with you. So that's just a show of there's so many variables that go into this, obviously excluding opinions and what the reporters, who they want to reward. But there's so many things that go into this. Obviously contracts are valued, because guess what? Bobby Marks tweeted out right after, Doncic has earned all NBA honors for second consecutive season and is eligible to sign a rookie max extension. Joel Embiid has earned all NBA and is now eligible to super max. So we could be like, oh, that doesn't matter. He didn't make first team, second team, third team. It does matter. When you qualify for these all teams in the first 3 to 5 years that you're in the NBA, that makes you a tremendous amount of money. So that's just something to think about, for people that don't understand.
Except when it comes to Brad Beal, because I think he lost out on that.
He could have. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think when he didn't make the All NBA team, he lost out on I think you can become that's when you qualify for the super max instead of just the actual max contract. So
it does mean something. Obviously a lot of factors go into it. If you're resting a guy, if you injuries, this and that, COVID, shit, you could be healthy as fuck this season, right? And get COVID like KD and be or Zach LaVine and be out 2 weeks. And it's like, damn, I just got my All NBA, another $40 million ripped from me because of contact tracing. So it does suck for these players. Obviously, they have an opportunity to make it up in other avenues, but that's just something to think about for the basic, fan that doesn't know about these little things, which I'd assume most people don't know. I read up on all of it, try to be educated, but
Booker and Mitchell got robbed.
Yeah,
I think more so Booker.
He wasn't on that first. He wasn't on that NBA All NBA, huh?
No.
Wow. Damn, there's always going to be snubs, like they say. I think the NBA All-Star team should go from. I think it was talked about today, this year for the first time, was they should go from 12 to 15, because there's 15 guys on the roster nowadays versus 12 back in the day. And most guys get hurt. Yeah, most guys get hurt. Most guys get snubbed. How to prevent that is go from 12 to 15. That obviously involves a lot of money, because in a contract, you could put, if you make it to the All-Star team back-to-back years, you'll get more incentive. So that's probably got to get talked. That's not something like we just talked about earlier about the MLB, where it's like can't be implemented right away. It's got to be unionized and talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But these are the little things that people like average fans don't know about, and which makes sense. If you don't read about it, if you don't do some research, you don't know what goes into being an all-star or contract wise or all NBA team. So it's they don't talk about it enough, I feel, in my opinion.
Shout out Kincaid's Lambo.
Ooh.
Hey, if you're betting well, I guess the first round's over, but soccer. What are you laughing at me?
No. He goes. Shout out Kim's K Lambo, and I was just gonna say, is that the skin? What did they have the skins on?
I could barely hear you guys when you talk, so I just hope the listeners can hear you guys when this goes out.
Hopefully, we don't talk at the same time, but we try to. But what was that Lambo thing?
I don't even know. They put in like fur or some shit.
Oh, that was her her company, like her clothing company. Yo, did you see that shit? That made no sense.
No sense, bro. It's
And
gonna
I know
get
that shit's
dirty
gonna
in,
get
like,
dirty
2
as
minutes.
hell.
Yep.
She put her feet in it, and immediately I got anxiety.
That's the
I'd be
first thing I
vacuuming
looked at.
every time I walk. I
You
would have
would.
two
You had
vacuums,
the
one in the
handheld.
front, one in the back.
The handhelds.
Always.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that.
They fucking wrapped that car. I just.
What were you gonna
so
say?
makes
What were
me-
you gonna say after he said the Lambo thing?
You know, I've been really hot with these soccer bets during the Euros, man. Yeah.
Ooh, look at you flexing. What are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gravy the fort?
But the gravy.
Bet the gravy.
Fucking
Stump the
Pour
fork.
some gravy on me.
stomp the Montana.
Stump the Montana.
Stump the Montana. By the way, I like that. I like a little trivia. I think we should get that going on in future
Shit,
episodes.
I gain another
trivia
100
action.
pounds. I'm gonna look like Buddy with no hair.
Throw some. I like how on PTI they do like little segments, and
They wear their costumes.
Tony will throw on like a lab coat. He'll throw on
Yeah.
a genie thing. Like,
Yeah.
dude, he's crazy. We gotta get some segments like that on.
Oh, before I
guess
forget,
now-
very, very, very important news.
very important. Shout out Jake Chiefs.
Very important. New Rick and Morty this Sunday,
Ooh,
Oh, let's get it.
guess what's gonna come out now?
season 5.
Mushrooms. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dip into my jar with
I'm
that.
actually gonna have mushrooms with my dinner tonight. But the real
Nice. Yeah, no, I think Mo told me that recently, that new season. I got to finish up because watching that season or those shows, obviously they have a lot of social lessons in that. If you really watch it high, or you can watch it sober and you get the point, but watching it on something, it makes you really think about life, like how we dwell
that your
on
cat?
either little things or we don't see society. But now that the new season's going to come out, I got to catch up. I got to finish season 2. That means I have a lot of things to ingest.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
And the,
rewatch the last
you know,
season just
numbers.
to. I don't know. I feel like it's been a while since I watched it.
Ooh.
I love that dog. So good. All right, so we're at the tail end of the episode 20. Man, I really miss Ben. Obviously, we got to show him more love every once in a while. Me and Fort talked about it this weekend when he's over. He's the glue guy to the pod. He always brings up random conversations, random topics, or
Hey,
just
Always need a glue guy.
all he has to do sometimes is laugh. And
We made it 20 episodes.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Like, we were talking about this, like I challenged someone to do something like 20 times in a row.
Oh,
20
weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Not even 20
20
times.
weeks,
Yeah,
dude.
20 weeks.
yeah.
Yeah.
5 months.
Whoever's listening out there, do something 20 weeks in a row, and then
Like 20.
yeah, right.
No,
like
make it sound worse.
not
Do something
including
for 5 months straight.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's crazy, bro. And I love that. I love the fact that we were able to be
with
consistent.
four different people in 4 different areas. Like,
Yeah.
that shit's
Shit.
not
Yeah,
easy, bro.
I definitely appreciate every time I think about it, and hopefully the listeners and watchers do, because we have 4 different lifestyles, making sure everything's consistent and kind of, none of us has done this before. All 4 of us are very inexperienced, or Gravy's probably the most experienced with kind of doing it for school, right?
Yeah.
The fact that all of us could come together from different backgrounds and kind of do 20 straight weeks of this.
We
is
do this
awesome.
for y'all.
for the people.
Shout out to
Um,
school.
I know. Shout out to school. Yeah. Before we end with some random topics, I wanted to hear that list of actors
yes.
and actresses that haven't won Oscars, because I know the last time I heard this list, Leo wasn't on it a few years back. Now he's got one.
Yeah, you know what I
um,
did? You know what I'll
Joaquin
do like during the
Phoenix.
week? I'll just like
Yeah.
random shit I see on Twitter and then save it for the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
of course, dude. That's where it comes in handy. I see things on TMZ and I'm like, that's a stupid ass topic, but I think we
Yeah.
could talk about that a little bit.
All right, so I'll just say the names really quick because there's a few. Then we can discuss it after.
Yeah.
So notable actors who have never won an Oscar. This was from John Pompilano. He's
Ooh.
brother of the Pomp Bros.
Malakani.
So we got Mark Wahlberg, Samuel L. Jackson, Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise, Will Smith, Adam Sandler, Bradley Cooper, Ryan Gosling, Johnny Depp, Angela Bassett, Jake Gyllenhaal, Jim Carrey, Woody Harrelson, Naomi Watts, Robin Wright, Edward Norton, and Hugh Jackman.
Ooh, Ed Norton not winning out of all the names, and I was trying to like take in every name that you said. Ed Norton is the most, only because when I watched the Leo, they have a video of like a 1 minute video of all the ones he was nominated for and all the things he lost. You look at the other movies, you go, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, wait, he should have probably won there. Oh, wait, that. So obviously you're competing with the movie you do that year and also what movies are out during that year as well. So it is harder than you might think. And that's why I said like Brad Pitt just won his first supporting cast with the one he did with Leo, which was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Thank you, Brianna, aka Elliot. Appreciate that. Yeah, so he just won his first, and obviously Brad Pitt's not known as a tremendous quality actor as far as cinema, but it's like weird. Like, oh, he's been on some movies, but it's all about timing. What actor or actress sticks out to you the most on that? Gravy.
Probably Tom Cruise.
I think I'm Tom Cruise.
I only like Tom Cruise in Minority Report. That's the only probably movie
I'm not a
I've
big
ever
Tom
seen
Cruise fan.
I'll be very honest.
Yeah, I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan myself.
Oh, okay. I know Vito
Yeah.
is. Vito, he tells me for years to watch Mission Impossibles.
No, I mean, just
eventually
those
will
alone.
when I'm high one day, but
yeah, just those alone. I feel like he should have won at least one.
Really?
Bradley Cooper's another one. I feel like he could have got one very
Bradley
quietly.
Cooper, for sure. He's still young though. He still got potential to win one.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
love Marky Mark.
There's no age
but that didn't surprise me. Samuel L.
he's
Jackson
not really
surprised
a quality
me.
actor. Yeah.
I was gonna say Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Yeah,
for sure. But like most of those actors, like they're snobs at the Oscars. They kind of, it's like old school acting, which they reward. That quality. You either become a character or the cinema is like valued at a historical point in life. So those all have to do with it. I mean, it's a great quality list for people who didn't win it, but
yeah,
I try to watch the Oscars every year as much as I can over the last 5 years, and man, it's fucking hard out there to win a fucking Oscar with all
they
those
should
categories.
Just get together and make
hard.
a movie and win an Oscar.
There you go. I was just gonna say.
They should just get together like the Warriors.
Will Smith hits up Ed Norton like, "Yo, I got this idea that we could both win the ship."
Would they make?
I don't even know, dude. That'd be a fire. I'll watch that though. That's for sure.
Movie about not winning Oscars or some shit.
Damn, this defenseman pushed a forward into his own goalie, and he knocked the goalie out of the game.
Oh my god.
Fucking
hockey. If you guys, we'll leave it off the next couple minutes. If you guys don't have anything, it is officially 8:35 p.m. Not in a rush to go watch the Nets game because I'm recording. I'm gonna start it when we're done. But
I'm good to get the
at the
fuck
end of the
out
episode
here.
Anyway. Culture 3, did you guys listen to?
Yeah,
I didn't listen to it personally. It's all right.
It was all right.
Larry June. Play that Larry June album.
Straightening.
Culture 3, I didn't listen to.
The first ad lib was Mama.
Shout out Feinberg because that's what we do. Obviously, he DM'd us saying that now there's a law that Florida people in traffic or in a protest could legally run protesters over. I didn't look far too into it. That was just
sounds like Florida.
Sprung upon me 2 hours ago. Yeah, I told him it was like Florida being Florida at the end of the day. So we got to look into that. Shout out DJ Kuzmo for the Culture 3 review on Twitter.
Facts.
Like we said earlier in the episode, TikTok, we're live. We're going to promote it. Follow us. We're going to try to make TikTok maybe a little more fun, a little bit more random stuff that goes on. TikTok is the biggest probably social media kind of trending up. So we'll have more fun on that. Follow us.
Some behind the scenes type shit.
Shout out Dick Staff, aka Richard Staff on Twitter. He 2 days ago he tweeted For a guy who's against illegal immigration, Trevor Bauer really loves letting hitters go over the wall.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother.
That's a good one.
And on that note, we shall end it there. That is episode 20. If you're listening via audio and podcast or YouTube, and it felt a little lighter today, it was because we didn't have our fourth member. We will have our fourth member back next week for episode 21. Episode 25, we have a nice little segment that we want to break down with you guys, celebrating 25 episodes. Follow us on all platforms. We appreciate you guys. And thank you for kind of listening to this ad-libbed, kind of three-man crew that we had going on the utility players. And that's what we are. We're utility players. We get it done no matter what.
Yes, sir. Shout out Mike Morty.
Have a good night. Boom.